If you grew up in a household where setting boundaries to protect yourself felt wrong, if you grew up in a household where you were not able to express how you were feeling, where you were not able to express when you needed a break, when you needed time to yourself, then setting boundaries as an adult can become incredibly hard. Even if you grew up being able to set boundaries, but then later in life someone broke that habit for you and made you feel like setting boundaries was wrong for you, you again might feel like setting boundaries is wrong. But setting boundaries is actually very, very important and very, very healthy for you. Setting boundaries is a way for you to express yourself and to say, this is what I can tolerate, this is what I can handle emotionally and mentally, and this is where I draw the line. Setting boundaries is a way of you communicating to the other person that this is how much you're able to tolerate and able to accept in order to have a healthy relationship with the other person. Setting a boundary doesn't mean you're controlling or punishing the other person for acting or not acting a specific way. Setting a boundary is you basically telling them, look, I want to stay in a relationship with you. I want to stay connected to you in some way. But if you do this to me, this will break my trust. This will make me feel bad about myself. This will make me not be able to be in your presence anymore. You setting a boundary is you basically saying, this is my way of protecting our relationship. And here's another thing. If you have a relationship with someone, whether it's a friendship, an intimate relationship, or family member, not only one of you should have boundaries. You should both have your own boundaries. Some of those boundaries will most likely align with each other, and some of them might be different. But if you don't communicate your boundaries, you will either end up staying in a relationship where you will become resentful because they will probably cross those boundaries at some point, or a perfectly healthy relationship will one day suddenly collapse because you never communicated what you would and wouldn't tolerate. You have to learn to be honest about who you are and what you need to feel respected as a human being, and that is a boundary. Maybe you feel guilty because you were trained when you were younger that setting a boundary is actually a selfish thing to do. But here's the truth. Setting a boundary is not selfish. Setting a boundary is self-respecting. If you don't set boundaries, it shows that you don't respect yourself. The only kind of people that will tell you that having a boundary is disrespectful or wrong are the kinds of people you need to avoid, because they're the kinds of people who will manipulate you, use you, or lie to you. When you want to set a boundary with someone, make sure you just tell them in an honest, healthy manner. Say to them, look, this is how I've been feeling. This is what I know I can tolerate. This is what I cannot tolerate. And especially if you're at the beginning of a relationship, identify those boundaries as quick as possible. I will not tolerate you cheating on me. Very basic boundary. I will not tolerate you talking bad about me behind my back. That is another boundary. And they will either accept those boundaries and respect you, where you will know, okay, this is a healthy relationship to maintain. And if they don't, and if they get defensive, they get angry, or they don't want to respect that boundary, you immediately know that that person is not for you. And why is that? Why is that person not for you? A person who is for you and who is good for your life would never do something that is selfish to make them benefit over you. And them going against your boundaries is a way of them manipulating you and making you feel like you are not enough. So being in a relationship with someone and having a clear boundary is not you trying to put them down, is not you trying to limit them, is not you trying to make them feel bad about themselves. It's you protecting yourself and protecting your relationship with this person so that you guys can thrive under circumstances. And remember this, boundaries most likely will never, ever, ever tear you guys apart if you're meant to be together. Boundaries will also never make that person feel bad about themselves and will never make them limit themselves or feel limited if they're meant to be in your life. And if they do, and if that's something they want to come up with or an excuse they're going to make, that person is not for you.